Hello, and welcome to Live Parkinson's, Live an Exceptional Life, the podcast dedicated to helping you live a great quality of life with Parkinson's through strategies, stories, and science. I'm your host, Chris Kustenbacher, and I've been living with Parkinson's for 15 years, and I'm thrilled that you joined me today. Did you know that what you eat can have a significant impact on your Parkinson's symptoms? Nutrition myths are everywhere, and separating fact from fiction is critical when managing your health. Today, we're diving into the truth about a Parkinson's diet and debunking common myths on nutrition for Parkinson's. I'll share some practical tips on nutrition for Parkinson's to help you live your best life. So, whether you're living with Parkinson's, a caregiver, or simply curious about how a diet can impact people living with Parkinson's, then you're in the right place. All right, Chris, you piqued my interest on myth versus fact, or I guess another way to put it would be fact versus fiction, regarding what to eat, what to avoid, and so what are we going to be talking about in this podcast? Well, we're going to start out with 4 common myths regarding what to include or exclude from your diet if you have Parkinson's. Then we'll move into actual evidence-based approaches for nutrition as part of your diet to help you manage your symptoms and overall health. Then we'll explore common nutritional challenges or concerns and provide specific strategies for helping to overcome each obstacle. Finally, we'll provide some credible resources and tips to ensure you're eating a balanced diet and it's going to enable you to live your best life with Parkinson's. Then we'll tie it all together in a nice bow and send you on your way, armed with information to help you live your best life by eating a well-balanced diet for Parkinson's. All right, let's be honest with each other. Who hasn't listened to and believed in a product, program, or gossip that turned out not to be true? Maybe it's one of those things that you've seen on an infomercial on TV. Maybe it was some kind of nutritional supplement or vitamins that were supposed to give you boundless energy or heal some malady. Or maybe it was a weight loss program that promised that you could lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks so that you'd look good for your class reunion. We've all been there. It's human nature to want to believe in something that in the back of our minds we know we should be skeptical about. Or say, wait a minute, something seems a little fishy here. Maybe I should do a little research on this. But what we often do is jump right in and start dialing the 1-800 number to order the magical pills that will allow us to lose weight without exercise or changes to our diet. Now, I'm no different than you. We all take the path of least resistance to get the results, but sometimes it's better if we just pause, take a step back, and separate myth from reality. So that's the intent of this podcast, is to take 4 common Parkinson's nutritional myths and give you the science and evidence to debunk these myths so that you're not excluding food categories that may be beneficial on your Parkinson's journey. But before we dive into our 4 common myths, let's address one of the biggest questions that gets asked and is a myth that people living with Parkinson's can easily buy into, and that is, there is one specific diet for Parkinson's to help me with my symptoms and my quality of life. Well, I'll give you the quick answer first and then explain the reasons why. The short answer is no, there is no specific Parkinson's diet. In their article, Diet and Nutrition by the Parkinson's Foundation, they state that studies show that targeted nutrition, the mainstay of your meals, may slow Parkinson's disease advancement by eating a whole food, plant-based diet. They also note that while there is no prescription for a PD-specific diet, one that includes a variety of whole grains, vegetables, fruits, and protein-rich foods can improve your overall health. The article also reinforces the need to avoid fad diets, to eat foods from all food groups, following the guidelines of the U.S. Department of Agriculture My Plate program. Okay, now that we have debunked the biggest myth about Parkinson's, that there is a specific Parkinson's diet that's one size fits all for everyone, let's turn our attention to 4 common myths regarding foods to include and or exclude from your diet if you're living with Parkinson's. Leading us off is the myth number 1. Myth 1 is avoiding all dairy is crucial for people with Parkinson's. Wait, what? No milk, yogurt, cheese, cottage cheese, sour cream? Come on, I love all those things. Excuse me, I just got a note from my research department. Actually, I don't actually have a research department. It's just little old me. That says this is a myth. Whew, crisis averted. So, what is the origin of this myth? Well, it's a little complex and there isn't a clear answer, but some possible factors include limited research. Some studies have suggested a possible link between high consumption of low-fat dairy products and increased risk of Parkinson's disease. In an article, Frequent Low-Fat Dairy Consumption May Increase Parkinson's Disease Risk, published by the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, the author states that consuming 3 or more servings of low-fat dairy each day was associated with a higher risk of being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. This according to a large PD study of U.S. men and women, according to the new paper by the Harvard T.H. Chan Public Health researchers. In addition, drinking more than a single serving of low-fat or skim milk daily appeared to increase the risk compared to those who drank less than a serving per week. Now, the authors did not find an association with full-fat dairy consumption. The study was published in the Journal of Neurology on July 4, 2017. Now, it's important to note that the authors emphasized in the study that the findings do not show that dairy products cause Parkinson's disease, but point to an association. More research is needed before recommendations can be made about dairy consumption. Another belief is that the data may have been misinterpreted or oversimplified, leading to the widespread belief that all dairy should be avoided. Anecdotal evidence is another theory that some individuals with Parkinson's may have anecdotally reported improvements in their symptoms after eliminating dairy from their diets. However, these experiences may not be representative of the entire Parkinson's population. When examining other dairy products, the findings are more varied. In a study, Consumption of Milk and Other Dairy Products and the Incidence of Parkinson's Disease, a prospective cohort study in French women, published in the European Journal of Epidemiology in September of 2024, this study found a J-shaped relationship with milk where moderate consumption of milk in drinks like coffee, tea, or chicory was associated with lower PD incidence. The study also found that other dairy products did not show a significant association with Parkinson's. In addition, research including various dairy items like cheese and yogurt hasn't consistently shown the same risk levels as with milk, suggesting that the negative association is more pronounced with milk rather than with all dairy products. So it's key to understand that the risk may not uniformly apply to every type of dairy product. Every person's dietary needs can vary, so consulting with your healthcare provider for personalized advice is crucial. It's important to note that dairy has some potential benefits in your diet, which include dairy is a good source of calcium and vitamin D, and they're both important for bone health. Strong bones are crucial for people with Parkinson's who are at increased risk of falls and fractures. Dairy products also contain protein, which is essential for maintaining muscle mass. So, what are the options regarding including dairy in your diet? First, it's important to discuss including dairy as part of your diet with your healthcare professional. They'll give you nutritional advice based on your specific needs, and they may even refer you to either a nutritionist or a dietitian. While some people with Parkinson's may experience dairy sensitivity, such as lactose intolerance, it's not a blanket rule. Consider keeping a food diary to help identify any issues or intolerances you may have with food, and then you can share it with your doctor. Okay, moving on to myth number 2. A high-protein diet will worsen Parkinson's symptoms. Okay, protein is a tricky topic if you have Parkinson's and are taking medications, particularly carbidopa-levodopa. There's a widespread belief that high-protein diets are off limits. This stems from the fact that protein can interfere with how your body absorbs certain medications like levodopa. Now, here's why this myth is a nuanced issue. And let's start with levodopa-protein interaction. Levodopa is converted into dopamine in the brain. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that's going to help us with our motor control and helps with fluid movement. Protein can compete with levodopa for absorption in the intestines, potentially replacing the amount of levodopa that actually reaches the brain. And then this can lead to wearing off fluctuations, which those of us that have Parkinson's know are periods of good and or poor motor control. And timing is key. The impact of protein on levodopa absorption depends heavily on the timing. How close to eating protein and taking the medication, or what's the time difference between those two? So consuming protein with or shortly before levodopa can significantly reduce levodopa absorption. Consuming protein several hours after levodopa has less impact on absorption. So if you're going to take your medication, try to wait several hours to consume a lot of protein. There is individual variation to the extent in which protein affects levodopa absorption, and that's going to vary significantly between individuals. Some people may be more sensitive to their interaction than others. So here's some key points to remember in regards to protein in your diet. Protein is an essential macronutrient. It's crucial for maintaining muscle mass and overall health, which is especially important for people with Parkinson's. So, some dietary or nutrition strategies you can use to help you include protein. Include protein timing. Consider eating meals that have a lot of protein several hours after taking your levodopa. And then you want to work with a dietitian who can help you create a meal plan that balances protein intake with medication timing. Now, I mentioned about waiting several hours after taking levodopa to eat protein. You can also spread your protein intake throughout the day instead of consuming large amounts all at once. That may help you with your medication management as well. And then finally, you want to work with your doctor. They may be able to help you adjust your levodopa dosage or medication schedule to minimize the impact of protein on the absorption of your levodopa. The information I just provided doesn't constitute medical advice and is for information purposes only. So it's imperative that you consult with your doctor for personalized guidance on both protein intake and meal timing. So to sum it up, this myth, yes, protein can interact with levodopa, and it's crucial to remember that protein is also an essential nutrient our body needs. So make sure that you work with your healthcare professional and a dietitian, and they can help you develop a nutrition plan that meets your specific needs while at the same time helping you to manage your Parkinson's symptoms. For more information on protein and its interactions with medication, listen to my podcast, Managing Protein for Parkinson's, Do's, Don'ts, and Key Tips from November 14th of 24. Alrighty, moving on to myth number 3, which is sugar is strictly forbidden for people with Parkinson's. Okay, so where did this myth originate? Well, that's a good question. There isn't one specific source for this myth, but here are some of the factors that may have led to it. First is general health concerns, high sugar intake and health risks. Excessive sugar consumption by consuming sugary beverages, sweets, sugar-laden sauces have generally been linked to health problems including obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. These health issues can affect your overall health and quality of life, including people with Parkinson's. Now, in the study, added sugar intake and cardiovascular diseases mortality among U.S. adults, published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, Internal Medicine, the research reported in their study conclusion that most U.S. adults consume more added sugar than is recommended for a healthy diet. We observed a significant relationship between added sugar consumption and increased risk for cardiovascular disease mortality or deaths. So, back to the myth that sugar is strictly forbidden for people with Parkinson's. The emphasis is on reducing added sugar intake in the general population and may have either been misinterpreted or oversimplified to mean that people with Parkinson's should completely exclude sugar from their diet. Now, that would be a rather boring world, wouldn't it? I mean, who wants to eat a birthday cake or a wedding cake made entirely of kale? Now, I'm not saying we should eat a lot of foods with sugar. I'm trying to limit sugar myself and to help manage my weight and overall health. But we can enjoy some sugar during celebrations and other social events. So whether it be a birthday cake, a wedding cake, maybe you have a friend or a family member that's moving, whatever the celebration. So there are times where it's okay to eat some sugar, but try to limit it in your diet to give you better overall health. Now, another reason this myth may have come about is the focus on healthy eating. The trend has been to eat a healthier diet, focusing on whole foods, fruits and vegetables, and limiting processed foods that contain lots of added sugars. The trend toward healthy eating may have led to the general advice of no sugar if you have Parkinson's without any specific considerations for the disease. Finally, this myth may have come from anecdotal evidence. People with Parkinson's may have anecdotally reported improvement in their symptoms after reducing sugar intake. However, as with anything, you may not represent everyone who has Parkinson's, and the improvements these individuals reported may also be due to other factors. So there's no strong, specific evidence that supports the claim that sugar is strictly forbidden for people with Parkinson's. The key is, as with all things in life, moderation. The key is to focus on a balanced diet that includes a variety of nutrient-rich foods with lots of colors and to get your vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, while limiting excessive sugar intake. This will help you with your overall health and help you manage your weight and help you control your blood sugar. So check out my podcast on the link between sugar and Parkinson's, Tips for a Healthier Diet, from December 4th of 24. Alrighty, looking at our last myth, which is, drumroll please, all caffeine should be avoided by people with Parkinson's. Now, I'll be honest with you. I try to avoid or limit caffeine, not because I believe in the myth, but because too much caffeine makes my tremors worse and can cause underlying anxiety. So where did this myth come from? Well, studies have shown that caffeine consumption may be associated with a reduced risk of developing Parkinson's disease. In the study, Caffeine Exposure and the Risk of Parkinson's Disease, a systematic review and meta-analysis of observational studies that was published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease, the researchers concluded that this study confirms an inverse association between caffeine intake and the risk of PD, which can hardly be explained by bias or uncontrolled co-founding. All right, so what does that mean in layman's terms? Well, as a person's caffeine intake went up, their risk of PD went down. So the myth may have originated when the data had been misinterpreted to mean that caffeine is detrimental for people who already have Parkinson's and only beneficial in helping to reduce the risk of developing Parkinson's. Now, another potential origin for this myth may be due to concerns about caffeine's stimulant effects. Caffeine is a stimulant, and it can affect the nervous system. According to the article, What Doctors Wish Patients Knew About the Impact of Caffeine, that was published in AMAassociation.org. The author, Sarah Berg, MS, notes that caffeine is a chemical stimulant that can be found naturally in coffee beans, tea leaves, cacao beans, guarana berries, and yerba mate tea leaves, and generally boosts alertness and energy levels. The author notes that 85% of adults consume 135 milligrams of caffeine daily in the U.S., which is equivalent to a 12-ounce cup of coffee. They also note that most people consume safely under 400 milligrams a day, which is what the Food and Drug Administration considers safe. So too much caffeine intake may make you feel jittery. Therefore, one part of the myth may stem from the fact that there might have been concerns that caffeine could exacerbate motor symptoms or interfere with Parkinson's medication. Also, there was a lack of clear guidance early on regarding caffeine intake for people with Parkinson's. However, current research suggests that moderate caffeine consumption may not be harmful and may even offer some potential benefits for people with Parkinson's, which include improved alertness, mood, and cognitive function. So, ask your doctor for personalized guidance on caffeine consumption. They'll help you determine roughly how much caffeine, if you decide you want to drink caffeinated beverages, how much you should consume. So the key takeaway is that the myth that all caffeine should be avoided by people with Parkinson's is likely a combination of misinterpretation and concerns about stimulant effects and limited initial guidance on caffeine intake. Again, current research suggests that moderate caffeine consumption may be safe and even potentially beneficial for some people with Parkinson's. Now, to learn more about Parkinson's and caffeine, listen to my podcast, Parkinson's and Caffeine, Friend or Foe, Demystifying the Coffee and Tea Debate, from June 5th, 2024. All right, we've examined and debunked 4 myths relating to a diet and nutrition for Parkinson's. Now let's turn our attention to some evidence-based nutritional approaches. And let's start by highlighting some key dietary principles. Leading it off is to consume a lot of antioxidant-rich foods. Now, I've talked about this in other podcasts, but if you're new or maybe you've forgotten, let's define what antioxidants are and why they're important in our diet. Antioxidants are molecules that help protect your cells from damage caused by free radicals. And what are they? Well, they're unstable molecules that are produced from some of your body processes like metabolism and also any exposure to toxins. Free radicals can cause oxidative stress, which has been linked to neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's. So consuming a lot of antioxidants in our diets through colorful fruits and vegetables like berries, citrus fruits, leafy greens, carrots, bell peppers, and then also nuts and seeds, which would include almonds, sunflower, chai, and flax seeds, and whole grains like oats, brown rice, and quinoa, beans and legumes like kidney beans and lentils, and then herbs and spices like turmeric, ginger, and cinnamon, and drinks like green tea and black tea, as well as coffee and red wine. And finally, another good source is dark chocolate. Antioxidants not only help neutralize free radicals and reduce oxidative stress, oh no, they do much more, like supporting the immune system, promoting healthy skin because they help protect the skin from UV damage. They can help you improve your eye health by promoting healthy vision and helping you prevent age-related macular degeneration. And finally, they help with heart health by helping to reduce inflammation. So if possible, opt for incorporating lots of antioxidant-rich foods in your diet by eating a variety of colorful fruits and vegetables, whole grains, seeds, and nuts. Now, another nutritional approach is following a Mediterranean-based diet. And this is one I currently follow myself because of the research I've done on it and the potential benefits it provides. So what is the Mediterranean diet? Well, it's inspired by the traditional eating patterns of countries bordering the Mediterranean Sea. Hence, the Mediterranean diet. Includes countries like Greece, Italy, and Spain. Now, the Mediterranean diet is known and often recommended because of its numerous health benefits. It focuses on whole foods and healthy fats rather than processed foods. Now, let me give you the basics or the core components of the Mediterranean diet. First is fruits and vegetables. It focuses on fresh, seasonal produce, which makes up the backbone of the diet, and these help provide you with essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. The next is whole grains. These include foods like whole grain bread, pasta, and brown rice instead of refined grains like white rice and white bread. Then it's healthy fats. Olive oil is one of the main staples used in both cooking and making dressings. Other healthy fats to include are nuts, seeds, and avocados. Legumes, beans, and nuts. Beans, lentils, almonds are often eaten as good sources of protein and fiber. Fish and seafood are the main source of protein in the Mediterranean diet because it's rich in omega-3 fatty acids, and the fish types that are often eaten are salmon, sardines, and mackerel. Poultry and eggs, which are a good source of protein, are eaten in moderation. And then the following are consumed in limited amounts. Dairy, which is eaten in low to moderate amounts, and it's usually either cheese or yogurt. Red meat, that's often only eaten a few times a month. And then wine, especially red wine, because of the resveratrol, is enjoyed in moderation and usually had with meals. Now, the reason I'm following a Mediterranean diet is because it has shown promise for brain health and may offer potential benefits for people with Parkinson's. And one of the reasons with brain health is my mom has dementia, so I'm trying to do as much as I can to hopefully help myself down the road here. Now, before I discuss the potential benefits, I want to state that you should review any nutrition plan with your healthcare professional before changing your diet to ensure that it's appropriate for your specific dietary needs. Now, I'm sharing this information for informational purposes only. Again, make sure you talk to your doctor about any specific diet plan. Okay, here are some of the potential benefits the Mediterranean diet may provide, and here's why. First, it's rich in antioxidants, including all those I just mentioned. And as stated earlier, they help protect cells from damage caused by free radicals, which are linked to neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's. Then they have anti-inflammatory properties. According to the article Inflammation and Parkinson's, from parkinsons.org.uk, they note that it is now thought that chronic inflammation in the brain may play a role in the development of some brain conditions, including Parkinson's. The Mediterranean diet's emphasis on plant-based foods and healthy fats has an anti-inflammatory properties that may help reduce inflammation in the brain. Now, another benefit is brain-boosting nutrients. The Mediterranean diet includes foods that are high in essential nutrients for brain health, like omega-3 fatty acids found in fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. Vitamin E and folate also help with brain-boosting benefits. Now, another benefit of the diet is the potential for neuroprotection. Some studies suggest that the Mediterranean diet may help protect brain cells from damage and slow the progression of neurodegenerative diseases. In the study, bioactive compounds of the Mediterranean diet as nutritional support to fight neurodegenerative disease that was published in International Journal of Molecular Sciences, the researchers concluded that preliminary studies suggest that the Mediterranean diet is one of the greatest diet patterns for lowering the risk of neurological disorders. Long-term consumption of plant foods, grains, legumes, fish, and olive oil as main sources of fat, and a modest amount of red wine are part of this dietary pattern. The molecular processes for chronic disease prevention by the Mediterranean diet pattern are due to other large levels of antioxidants, polyphenols, and monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fatty acids. So those are some of the potential benefits of the Mediterranean diet and why I chose to follow this type of diet myself. Again, check with your healthcare professional first to make sure it's right for you. Now, for additional information on the Mediterranean diet, listen to my podcast titled Parkinson's Nutrition. Can What You Eat Help Manage Symptoms? From May 22nd, 24, and Parkinson's and Movement Relief. Can the Mediterranean diet be a game changer? And that's from June 12th of 2024. All right, let's quickly look at some of the common nutritional concerns with Parkinson's, and then lead it off with number one is weight management. Now, I recently talked about this in one of my recent podcasts and said that weight loss is more common in people with Parkinson's. However, there is a problem which I experienced myself, and that's weight gain. And one of the best ways to manage weight gain is through eating a healthy diet like the Mediterranean diet and incorporating exercise. In addition, your doctor may make medication adjustments, which can play a role as well. So, for instance, dopamine agonists are known to have the potential to cause obsessive behaviors like overeating. So if you're noticing that you're having that problem, you might want to talk to your doctor and they can adjust your medications. So make sure to review all three: diet, exercise, and nutrition with your doctor. All right, next up is hydration. People with PD can become dehydrated quickly, so it's important to consume plenty of water and eat foods with high water content like celery, cucumbers, melons, berries, because one of the things that dehydration can do is it can cause disorientation, and that can lead to falls. So ask your doctor about how much water and other liquids you should be consuming throughout the day. Finally, let's touch on reliable sources of information regarding nutrition and diet plans for Parkinson's. Where can you go to get accurate, evidence-based information? Now, I recommend these following organizations and foundations, and I've been donating to them for a long time, and I've gone to a lot of the different educational opportunities that they provide. The first is the Parkinson's Foundation, and I'm a research advocate for the Parkinson's Foundation, and one of the things I'm impressed with is the amount and quality of the research they have on Parkinson's, covering anything that you need to know about Parkinson's. So they also have some great information about diet and nutrition and exercise. Next is the Michael J. Fox Foundation. And again, they have lots of clinical research supporting the importance of nutrition for Parkinson's. Next is the Davis Phinney Foundation. This foundation focuses on living well with Parkinson's, and they have a lot of great evidence-based information on nutrition and eating plans. And then the National Institutes of Health also have a wealth of information on nutrition, especially if you enjoy reading clinical studies. And then also you can go to the American Parkinson's Disease Association as well. They have some good information. Finally, you want to consult your doctor and a registered dietitian or nutritionist for more information. In today's episode, we tackled some common myths surrounding Parkinson's nutrition. We debunked misconceptions about avoiding all dairy products, the danger of high-protein diets, the absolute ban on sugar, and the complete elimination of caffeine. Now remember, there's no one-size-fits-all Parkinson's diet. The key is to focus on a balanced approach rich in fruits and vegetables, whole grains and lean protein sources, and healthy fats. While some dietary adjustments may be necessary, it's important to consult with your doctor or registered dietitian to create a personalized plan for you, and that also doesn't cause worsening of your Parkinson's symptoms. Okay, now here's your call to action. Empower yourselves with knowledge. Visit liveparkinsons.com to subscribe to the free monthly newsletter and gain access to a treasure trove of informative articles and resources designed to help you live a high quality of life with Parkinson's. Now, if you enjoyed this episode and want to support our mission of helping people with Parkinson's live a great quality of life, please visit my Ko-fi page, kofi.com/liveparkinsons, and I'll put a link in the product description, and you can buy me a cup of coffee or make a donation. Thank you for joining me in this journey. Remember, you're not alone in this fight. Stay informed, stay strong, stay healthy, stay hopeful, and remember to live your best life with Parkinson's. See you next time, and thank you for listening.